If Funky is Kitty's father, then we've got to consider that he's the mechanic. His babies are his mechanical inventions, his vehicles, and so on. Now, the role of the mechanic is repeated in the figure of King K. Rool, here in his Frankenstein role of Baron K. Rulenstein, this sort of mad doctor archetype, the creator of chaos. So he is also a mechanic, like Funky, and since the box art possibly suggests that Kitty is chaos, then indeed we could consider that both roles depict this sort of creation of a golem-like motherless child by this creator, artificer sort of father figure, which could position Kitty in the role of the robot, the mechanical child, the sort of, the golem. In fact, Dixie herself uses Kitty as a vehicle to ride on water, uses him as a weapon, as if Kitty himself were one more of the vehicles in Funky's garage. Kitty's body, or his physical strength, is emphasized in the game too. He's a baby on the one hand, so the weakest, most vulnerable stage in life, and yet at the same time he is almost stronger than any of the adult Kongs. He exists in both poles at the same time. Now, Funky and Diddy are not officially related to Donkey Kong. They're just his friends. They're like the most obvious friend characters to Donkey Kong. And yet also they both wear red hats and sometimes shades. Even the promotional art shows them together sometimes, here in opposition to Donkey Kong and Cranky. So Funky and Diddy could be the same Kong, and Cranky and Donkey Kong a same Kong. So you would have Funky and Diddy, the sort of cool, hip, young Kongs, and Donkey and Cranky, the more veteran, older Kongs. You've got youth and old on both sides of the picture. In this case, Candy, the female character in this art, is the central axis, the central point between the old and the new, between the past and the future. So, Diddy is said to be Donkey Kong's nephew, I think. So he could potentially be Funky's son. In that case, Funky could be either the father of Diddy or Kitty, or both. And, of course, in a more mythological sense, their characters merge together, potentially. Now, Dixie finds herself in the middle of this, like Candy. If she receives a child from Funky, which could be a possible older version of Diddy, her boyfriend, then this child, at the same time, can be interpreted as being Funky's child. So, Kitty could be a younger version of Diddy. So, essentially what I mean is that we can have this triad of characters here, due to the Kong family tree being so vague, that could be interpreted as being Funky, Diddy, and Kitty being exactly the same character, but in 3 different stages of life. So Dixie then finds herself trapped in between the old, the present, and the new, trapped in time, in a sense.